It's Saturday Night Live. Just kidding. It's a live investing report. Last week of August. So we got a full end report today, as well as the normal things. So let's take a look at the week. Our top portfolio was financials, and the worst one was tech. So overall, all the indexes were up, except NASDAQ, and NASDAQ was down a little bit, just under 1%. 3 of the sectors were down, but some of them did pretty well. We can see the actual portfolios. All of them were positive. Roth was the best one, and both of the indexes beat the rankings, both Noble and SPYD. And now look at the monthly performance. Consumer staples was the top one for the month, and then energy was the worst one. Actually, energy was the only negative one, almost down 2%. And all the major indexes were up. SPLG beat the S&P 500 by 13 points. And then for the monthly actual portfolios, Roth again was number one, almost 4% for the month. And the main portfolio almost 2.5%. And the others, tier is up 2.8%. And then the global dividends were up almost 2%. So now, how do we do for the week? So we look over at week 5. Actually, I guess we forgot to color code that, but 2 reds, 1 purple, and the rest were green. So 7 were green. And then we see how it went over the month. So on the left, we have the total return for the month, and then on the right, how it compares for the year since January 1st. So all green this month except for one, Chevron, almost down 1%. And then if we look at the year, we've got 2 purples, 1 red, and who's the red one? PPG. Everything else is green. Some are up pretty far. SPYD for the month, everything's green. Last 3 weeks, all green. And let's see, for the month, all green. And for the year, we just have 1 red, which is Dow. That's the materials company. It's actually still up, but since January 1st, it's down. And now let's look at the actual portfolios. First, we got M1 Finance. M1 Finance recently added a fee of $3 if you don't have $10,000 in your account. So until the end of October, when I send the money out to the different accounts, then I'll be getting charged that, but I'm going to make sure to top it over 10,000, which I just need to put 6,500 or so in, maybe a little bit more than that. But this was the Roth portfolio. Not a bad movement for the month. Got some more cash from the dividends, up to $32.50, so not bad. Then 14% up for the year, $117 for the share price, and almost $24 for the dividends. And this was a look of the different pies. So SPYD 17%, Noble 11%. So SPYD beating there, and then the Noble single stocks though beating the SPYD single stocks 16 to 11%. And actually it's pretty close to 17%. Now we look at top 8. We got 2 up 50%. We've got, how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 up 30% or more, and then the bottom one is up 25%. If we look at the bottom 8, now we've got a lot of green on the bottom. 6 of the 8 are green. And then Chevron has just been red for a while for me. And Ben recently has dropped into red, and it's actually dropped all the way down to the bottom, down 20%. So we look at Tira, no new money. At the end of this month, we'll get a large increase, though. Probably should be $14, 15, and we're up 17% again, which is close to the high of the portfolio, and now $329 in market gain and $18 in dividends. So a lot of market gain. 19% return for the S&P 500 and 15% for the sectors. Our top 6, we got communications, tech, and financials beating the S&P 500. And then we also have industrials and healthcare in the top 6. In the bottom 6, everything is green. Bottom sector is energy, only up 11.7%. That's pretty good for a bottom stock or bottom ETF. We move on to interactive brokers, and we start with the global dividends. Hasn't really moved for the week. Got a little bit of dividend cents, I think 22 or something like that. We've got another 80 coming in, and then still down around $24. And the usual suspects at the top and bottom. FTR moved up a little bit more, up 55%. NetApp still up a little bit, and 008 moving up a little bit more, or about the same, couple percent up. And then APAM at the bottom, down 12%. The Forex still green, but it had a bit of a crash this week. The US dollar was making some moves back against the foreign currencies. When we start seeing the rate cuts in September, we might see more movement up in those Forex currencies. And then new high, 13.5% for the main portfolio, moving further up above $10,000. $7 in dividends coming in. And we can see we reached a new high for unrealized gain, over $1,300 now. And Friday was a gain of $57, so that's what got us above $1,300. And top 8, S&P 500 and sector ETFs. So nothing new there. SPLG hit $900, and everything else is $30 to $40. And the bottom, we've got nothing but 10% dividend companies, so none of the actual companies we're buying anymore are there, which is good. It means they've moved out of the bottom. And now we have miscellaneous, so we have some forecast changes. U.S. credit score information, Warren Buffett's birthday, and 100-year-old people's advice. So let's see. We had someone removed a buy for One Oak. Just removed it, didn't add anything else. PM, we got a move from outperform to hold. And then Ben, we had someone added underperform. Of course, you saw in my portfolio, that's down 20%, so not a surprise. And now this is some credit information. So average credit score dipped. This is for USA. Average credit score dipped to 117, which is still actually very good according to the rating system. So if you think about your own credit score, if you have 300 to 499, you're very poor. 500 to 600, you're poor. 601 to 660, you're good. 661 to 780, you're very good. And 781 to 850, you're exceptional. And here are the average scores by generation. Generation Z, 665, so they're good. Actually, they're very good, barely. Millennials, 687, so they're very good. Generation X, very good, 710. Boomers, 746, very good. And then silent generation, 750. So you can think about where you are. Do you match a generation? Do you match a certain rating? You can let me know in the comments. So now here we have 100-year-old advice. So I'll just read this. It says, old people are good at living a long time, but according to researchers, you should never take their health advice. They don't take much exercise. Quite often their diets are rather unhealthy. So what's the secret? Experts say good genes and 100 years of good luck, not 3 Dr. Peppers a day. Now who's getting close to 100 years old? Actually, Warren Buffett. So he turned 94, and his company, Berkshire Hathaway, reached $1 trillion market cap. So their first non-tech U.S. company to do so. And then someone did a list of some prices from 1930 when he was born. So it was 14 cents for a quart of milk, 9 cents for a loaf of bread, 20 cents for a pound of chicken, 18 cents for a dozen eggs, and 20 cents for a gallon of gas. And that's it. So that was the live investing report. Next week, we'll see how September starts. What's the first week of September going to be like? And September is traditionally a negative month, so don't be surprised if we start seeing a lot of red. And what do you think of the portfolio? Do you have a investing portfolio, and do you buy similar things? Are your returns similar, a little bit better, a little bit worse? Go ahead and let me know. And next Saturday at 10 p.m., we'll be back.